Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meyer.
Hi again, friends, and welcome to another edition of Inside Michigan Football. Doug Karsch, John Jansen getting ready to head down to Tampa for the ReliaQuest Bowl. Michigan and Alabama coming up on New Year's Eve. And John, let's face it, the world of college football's changed. This feels more like the first spring game of next year, more so than it does a bowl game like it used to feel in the past.
Yeah, it really feels like a glorified spring game. And the cool thing about it is it's not just maize and blue. Now they're playing Alabama, so the young players are going to get tested on, guys that they're not familiar with and guys that have a lot of talent that are down there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, let's talk about some of the guys that will get featured in this game that we haven't seen a ton of, with news that Donovan Edwards won't play. Some running backs to look out for, the freshman Jordan Marshall, who got on the field a little bit. Yeah. You're smiling already?
I am, because everything that we're hearing and everything that I've seen, like we even see on the returns, like he runs aggressively and they're talking about his leadership. They're comparing him to a guy like Blake Corum. And when you're in that type of elite territory, the expectations are only going to go up.
Micah Apana might get a chance. Another freshman, Ben Hall, also expected to see some action as well in the backfield. True freshman who didn't play this year, but Andrew Sprague, a tackle that you're very excited about. He can see the field in this game.
Yeah, he got a couple of reps throughout the season, so I am excited for him to get more. And again, this is an opportunity to see these guys who, some of them were early enrollees last year. They got a chance to practice. They hit the weight room, hit training table. Now they're completely different after a year. We'll get a chance to see their development at an early stage.
Also offensively, Colston Loveland won't play. Marlon Klein, he will be tight end one. And Hogan Hansen, the freshman, he was impressive this year.
He was. Got a lot of run this year. And now without Colston there, he's going to get the ball thrown to him a lot more. And I think in this game, the tight end for the quarterback, whoever that quarterback's going to be throughout the course of the game, that's going to be a big target.
Josiah Edmonds, a freshman at the corner spot. We could see Dominic Nichols, a freshman edge rusher. This is a big game for next year's defensive front. Guys like Derek Moore, TJ Guy, Rayshawn Benning.
Yeah, and you think about that group of guys that are coming back. You think about the depth that they've had and the talent they've had over the last couple of years. It's still here, and it's still guys that, hey, we're backups. We're just begging for more opportunity. Now it's their time. Their number's called.
Quarterbacks Davis Warren and Alex Orji named in the portal, but expected to play in this game. But probably the story that fans are most interested in is the freshman class. Up to 15 of them have been practicing with the team, led by the #1 recruit in the country, Bryce Underwood, practicing with the team.
Yeah, so we'll get a chance to see him. We won't see him in the game, but we'll get a chance to see him on the practice field, see what that arm looks like, see what the skill set looks like with the talent that Michigan has.
He doesn't look like a normal freshman.
No, he doesn't. No, I saw him play in high school, and I'm really excited about what he brings, as everybody is.
Well, we will be making our way to Tampa shortly, but our Ed Kengerski is already there with the Wolverines. Ed?
Thanks, Doug. Anytime these two programs get together, it's an historic matchup. The 7th meeting all time, with the series tied at 3 apiece. For that and a host of other reasons, this bowl game has a very different feel to it.
After 3 straight years in the college football playoff, Michigan is faced with a new challenge, treating this like a CFP game.
Play for Michigan. You got to represent the winged helmet every time you step out there. So, everyone on this team takes pride in that.
This means everything to us, and we're going to give it our absolute all. No matter who the opponent is, no matter how good the team is, hey, we're pretty good too.
With a handful of players moving on, this is a time for new leaders to emerge.
There's a lot of opportunities for this game. A lot of young guys step in different roles, and myself taking a step in the next leadership role for this team. So it's a very great opportunity. I've embraced it. I'm ready for this moment for this team.
There is a true excitement to see some of the younger players step into the spotlight.
I've just seen a lot of guys who are just hungry, a lot of guys who are hungry and ready to just go out and make their name heard.
There's also the bowl exposure and reps for the 2025 early enrollees, guys like quarterback Bryce Underwood.
Came in here humble, hungry, and just wants to get better and wants to improve as a football player. Knows he's got a long way to go. He's here for the right reasons. He cares about this place, this program, believes in Coach Moore, like all of us do.
And then there's that one not so insignificant intangible, beating Bama again.
At this point it feels like it's a rivalry game. We go in and play them year in and year out. 2 great historic programs, and should be great football.
Later in the show from here in Tampa, I spoke with head coach Sharon Moore and the top 5 Jansen Vision plays of the week. That and much more when Inside Michigan Football rolls on.
Inside Michigan Football is presented by Meyer.
Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by University of Michigan Health. There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. To learn more about Michigan's best hospital, visit michigananswers.com. Inside Michigan Football continues getting set for Michigan and Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And John, let's talk a little coaching. We'll start with some assistant coaches. Wink Martindale, the Michigan defensive coordinator, going from life in the NFL to life in college. I think you saw as the year went on, and he said late in the year the communication got better and the guys did a great job flying around and making plays. And we no better example than the Ohio State game, especially after what we saw Ohio State did to Tennessee in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and even in talking to Amir Hall last week, he talked about those 4 pillars and how those 4 pillars have been here. And Wink is the one that originated them. Mike McDonald actually brought them. But those 4 pillars, the communication, the everything that they're trying to do defensively, they really felt like in the last 2 or 3 weeks, everything started to click. And I think a lot of that is just Wink getting acclimated to the college game.
We're going to see the tight end coach, Steve Kasula, call plays in this game. And I mean, for Coach Kasula, I guess let it fly, right?
Yeah,
you get one game.
Yeah. I mean, he's got one game. He's got a chance to get out there. And I mean, he's called plays before. So I am excited. Coach Kasula is a guy that really believes in the process. So I think you're going to see a team that understands exactly what they're trying to do and what the parameters of this offense are from the first snap all the way to the end.
You think the tight ends will get some extra looks?
Oh, I think that's why I said what I already told you. I think the tight end's going to get a lot of run in this game.
Let's talk about Sharon Moore. The way the season went, we thought there was likely there were going to be some growing pains. But in the last week and a half, he gets the #1 recruit in the country and beats Ohio State. Talk about taking momentum into the offseason.
Well, there's a lot of guys that can lead when things are going well. And obviously, like when he was the interim coach for those last 3 games last year, things are going well because you're winning. But there's still some adversity because he's the interim coach stepping in. Things did not go well this year, but you never saw guys quit. You never saw guys start to complain. You never saw guys talk about playing time. He really showed the leadership that he has and the belief that these players that were on the roster and the ones that are coming have in him.
The stories I have about Sharon, one is the pressure never got to him. Speaking with him every week, he's very comfortable in the position. 2 is he was so relaxed Ohio State week. You could tell that he was ready for the challenge, and that I think the team reflected the head coach's attitude.
They do, and that's, I mean, you're always going to reflect your leadership. And when your leadership is confident, that's the way you're going to take the field.
Well, we'll hear from the head coach, Sharon Moore, next here on Inside Michigan Football. Our conversation with the coach is brought to you by Meyer. Back here on Inside Michigan Football, Michigan and Alabama coming up in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Let's go down to Tampa where our Ed Kengerski has the head coach of the Wolverines, Sharon Moore. Eddie?
Once everyone was settled in Tampa, we had a lot of ground to cover. First and foremost, how his team was preparing for this clash with the Crimson Tide.
It's been awesome. A lot of guys are getting opportunities to play that have limited roles and had different roles, so it's been awesome. The guys have really embraced it, really worked hard this bowl prep, and super excited for the game.
Can you talk about the Ann Arbor portion of your prep? You have a few weeks, you got the 15 practices, you got the holidays kind of mixed in there. What kind of challenges does that pose? What's that look like?
I mean, it's fun. It's cool because you don't have school involved, and you get more time with the guys. You know, your clock of gets unlimited what you can do and when you can work with the guys. So it's fun to be around them, and we give them some time off and let them get home for the holidays. But we definitely got a lot of good work in.
After 3 straight years in the college football playoff, have these guys attacked this with that kind of same mentality, that same seriousness?
Yeah, I think another opportunity to play football, especially the way we ended the season with those last 2 games. I think the guys are really excited about where we're going and what we can do. So it's been really fun. The guys really enjoyed the process. And of course, our goal is to be in the playoffs every year, which we're going to continue to aim for. But another chance to go play football against a really good opponent is really special.
Here's one for you and the staff, the changing landscape of college football, which sometimes it's changing by the hour.
That's right.
What kind of challenges does that present to you guys as you get ready for this?
I mean, it's just a lot more recruiting and a lot more things that you're always doing. You're constantly doing, you're constantly evaluating, managing your roster, trying to figure out what you can bring in, what's going to leave. And, it's just part of football. You got to adapt.
You talked about opportunity. I think a position that a lot of people will be keenly interested in are the running backs. How have those guys responded to this?
They've been awesome. Really excited about our young backs, and it's going to be fun to watch them play and excited for them to make a lot of plays.
When you see guys getting ready for a game like this, kind of what do you see in their eyes? How do you kind of gauge where they're at mentally?
Yeah, I mean, we try to adjust the plans accordingly to the guys that are playing, and it looks like they're focused, they're ready to go. They came out here with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of juices. Started with our team meeting last night and really locked into the plan and what we're doing, and not a lot of MAs out here, so it's just on to how we do things.
You got about 13 early enrollees here. Tell me the importance of this for those guys as they assimilate into the program.
I think it's great. It's an awesome rule that was put into play a couple years back. I can't remember exactly when, but it's fun for them to watch themselves and confirm that they're good enough to play, because I think sometimes there's always that doubt as a high school kid, can I do it? Do I belong? And those guys see themselves in the jersey and the helmet and doing that, so it's pretty cool for us, and it's great for us to evaluate and watch and see who can help us early and see who needs a little time to develop.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Bryce. I mean, he's been the story for a while here nationally. How has he kind of jumped in and been part of this program?
He's been great. I mean, he's just a great kid, a hard worker, doesn't say much unless you really ask him. He just wants to be as good as he can be, and he's a tough kid. He works his tail off, so I'm excited about him.
Humble and hungry are a couple words I've heard to describe him. Would that kind of fit what you've seen?
Yeah, very much so. I think it starts with his upbringing and where he's from, and continues to do that.
Let's talk about Alabama for a moment. What kind of challenges do they pose? This is a club that was the first team out of the playoff.
Yeah, first starts off with the quarterback. Milroe's a dynamic player, one of the best in college football, and he's going to be a challenge for our defense. And we've got to have a great plan to go attack him. But all around, they're a great football team.
All right, your first bowl game as a head coach. At the end of the day, people are just going to look at 1-0 or 0-1. What would it mean to you to step in here your first year, get a bowl victory, and take that momentum into winter, into a spring ball?
It means everything. It means a lot. Just want to do right by our kids and make sure that we're in the right position to win and go win the game.
Sharon, thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We certainly know Sharon's guys were battle-tested. Based on opponent winning percentage, Michigan had the second toughest schedule in the country. 10 of its 12 foes were bowl teams, and 4 of them qualified for the 12-team college football playoff. Doug?
All right, Eddie, thank you. We'll see you later here on Inside Michigan Football. But straight ahead, Jansen Vision, the top 5 plays from the 2024 regular season. That is next here on Inside Michigan Football. Back here on Inside Michigan Football. All right, Jansen Vision, it's one of the most popular things we do, and we rank the top 5 plays of the 2024 season. And let's start down in Columbus, second quarter. Wolverines turning heads early in this game, and I felt like this play, John, changed the tone of the football game.
It did, and it's Makari Page, and it's honestly it's Ernest Hausman as well. Now, Ernie is right here, and this is a read option. Will Howard ends up keeping it around here. He ends up having to bubble just a little bit more because Ernie comes in here, and when he does, all right, all of a sudden, Makari Page out here, he sees that he's got the outside lane. Ernie, watch the speed of Ernest Hausman right there, but it's going to be the closing speed of Makari Page. And as we get close to where he actually makes the pop, right there, everybody was wondering, is it going to be targeting? We were wondering if Makari Page, and right here at the very end, I want you to watch his head. He keeps it to the side. He comes with the shoulder, and there is shoulder to head contact, which is legal. And he did a great job of not having to worry about getting kicked out of that game. And the best thing about it was that was 3rd and 3, and they came up just a half yard shy.
Well, and the Wolverines did a great job all season long. Brandon Hillman on a couple of occasions avoiding the targeting. You can tell they are well coached on that. All right, let's go to our next play. This is from the Michigan State game. Early fourth quarter, Wolverines up 17-10.
Yeah, and this is one of those plays that Donovan is always going to be able to tell you about. It's the amount of pass plays, the amount of touchdowns that he's thrown. And here's what I want to watch right here. This is Colston Loveland right here. We've seen this so many times where you pull Evan Link out, you're setting up for a run, and it looks like Colston Loveland is on a beeline for the linebacker right here, but no, what's he do? He ends up slipping into the secondary and runs right past everybody, and everybody, hey, way too late, Colston Loveland for the touchdown. I thought they did a really nice job of using Colston Loveland this year in so many different ways, and obviously they knew that Donovan had this in his repertoire. We saw it, what was the first time against Iowa in the Big Ten championship game.
It's really unbelievable when everybody knows Colston's the weapon and they still can't cover him. All right, let's go down to Columbus again. This is a 10-10 game, late third quarter. Ohio State's got a 3rd down. I wondered if they were getting close here. First of all, it would have been a chip shot, extra point type field goal, but secondly, maybe they would have gone for it on 4th down, who knows? But Mason Graham said no, sir, and blows this play up.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 right here, and I want you to watch the guard and Mason Graham. All right, when as a guard, this play is intended to go inside here. So this guard, all he really wants to do to make his life a little bit easier is get Mason Graham to go outside here. Mason does him a favor. He ends up going outside, but he loses balance. And the thing that makes Mason Graham the unanimous All-American that he is his ability to get outside that block and then get back inside to make a play. There are not a lot of guys in college football. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL that you have to worry about that. When I was playing, that was just something you have to worry about. All of a sudden the guy goes there, and his recoverability is remarkable. That's why he's going to be a top 5 pick.
And that led to a missed field goal, and after that play, Ohio State only ran 7 plays the rest of the game. Didn't get another first down. All right, let's go to the USC game. Wolverines are down 24-20. It's getting late in the fourth quarter. Michigan doesn't have a single second half first down prior to this play.
Right, and where Max Bredesen goes, the ball will also go. And I want you to watch him come in motion, and he's going to trap the end man on the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly where Khalil Mullins, he does a nice job of creating an angle so he can get his head inside. All you got to do is wall this guy off. Nice double team here. Again, keeping everybody inside. And then right there, that's the block that springs Khalil Mullins. And then from there on out, we saw it. We lived it. It's just the ability of Khalil Mullins to come up big at the most important times.
Yeah, Michigan's first down the second half came on that drive. Just a correction from earlier. Let's go to our number 1 play of the year. Michigan-Ohio State tie game, fourth quarter. Wolverines looking at a 3rd and medium here, and they go to Khalil Mullins. And this isn't the most beautifully blocked play, but Khalil, unbelievable second effort.
No, we're going to take a look at 2 different looks here. When we get to the end zone, I'm going to show you a couple other things, but I want you to watch Evan Link right here, who's going to block Jack Sawyer. And he does a really nice job. This is a redshirt freshman in his first Ohio State game playing, of getting his hands in tight, but he also realizes that once I've got position here, once I lose position and Jack Sawyer comes in here, I've got to let go. If he doesn't let go, he's going to get called for holding. He lets go at just the right time, and Khalil Mullins does a great job of being able to break a tackle. Now here's what I want to show you guys. All of a sudden right here, watch this player right here, because Hogan Hansen's coming in motion. He's got a man coverage. He blocks himself by taking him out of the play, but we've got a double team here intended to go up here. This is where we need to improve just a little bit. Get your head across, Miles. We've got good pad leverage here, and we already talked about Evan, but this right here is really what springs the play, because he's coming across with Hogan, and then there's no linebacker there in place to be able to wipe up when Khalil makes and breaks that tackle.
And that set up the game-winning field goal, and the Wolverines have won 4 in a row over Ohio State. We go back to Tampa next here on Inside Michigan Football.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Football. No matter the bowl location, there's always extracurricular activities surrounding the game. And the ReliaQuest Bowl, the former Outback Bowl, was no exception. Friday was a visit to a nearby children's hospital. Sharon Moore and a handful of players spreading some holiday cheer, something many of the guys do at C.S. Mott Children's Hospital back home in Ann Arbor. Always an uplifting time for all involved, and puts the great game of football in proper perspective. Then Saturday, it was off to Busch Gardens Amusement and Entertainment Park. Roller coasters, live entertainment, and over 12,000 animals to see and learn about. A nice change of pace for the players to have some fun and get away for a few hours. Later today, there's a team outing at Clearwater Beach. You throw in this outstanding weather, and a Victory Tuesday would make this a near perfect bowl week. We'll see you guys in the radio booth on New Year's Eve.
All right, Eddie, we are looking forward to that. And what are we looking forward to seeing in this game, John Jansen?
A lot of young players. We talked about it earlier in the show. It is a glorified spring game. It's an opportunity to see these guys against the Crimson Tide, see how they've developed and see what we've got going into the spring and the actual spring game next year.
Wolverines got some momentum. Young recruiting class looks good. Portal has produced maybe exactly what Michigan needs. Can't wait for the 2025 season.
There's a lot of excitement about this team, about the program, around Sharon Moore right now and the way the season ended.
And we look forward to bringing you that next year here on Inside Michigan Football. Enjoy the new year. So long. Inside Michigan Football is brought to you by Meyer, presenting sponsor of the 2024 Michigan football season, and proud sponsor of thousands of local sports teams across the Midwest.